Kas sa kuuled mind? Jah? Kas ma võin proovida ruuteri tagasi sisse lülitada? Okei. Või äkki me proovime sinu sellega?
Paneme vaatama, kas sellest läheb halvemaks.
See ei saa nii hull ju ka olla. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. No. Okay. Yeah, thank you for coming. So today we do like a practical workshop of basically how to connect some kind of sensor with your computer and how to do something with this. It's not so much about sound design or sound processing. It's more really what to do with the data, with the random data that you see on your screen. And for me, at least, I found it very practical if I kind of got these first steps like as a kind of part of my routine, because from there on you can do everything, whatever you want to do. If you know how to work with data, it's somehow gets easy. Anyway, so the first thing what we have to do is that we need to establish a connection between our computer and between the phone. In this case, we use our phones as sensors because they are one of the most easiest way to start. And if you do like some professional stuff, I would then consider to have some other kind of sensor, like more made for sensing stuff and not calling to other person. Okay, so I have a network here that I established, and I think, okay, maybe we do like this, that those of you who have Mac, you can actually establish your own network. So you can basically make your computer as a router. This is one thing, but otherwise, or no, let's do like this, that we all connect to this network. Sorry, I was a bit questioning. Yeah, so you see the name and the password. Yeah, so just connect your phone and your computer into this network as the first step. And Eke, do we have home listeners?
Right now, one.
Okay. Yeah, so it probably will be a little bit more complicated for the persons out there. But basically what is needed is a good, you need to put your phone and your computer into the same network. So it can be your home router or whatever you have at home. And if this is done, then you can give me a short notice, then I know that we can continue.
Could be also the hotspot from the same phone.
Yeah, could be, but I don't trust hotspots, really.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So what we did here, we didn't really connect ourselves into Wi-Fi, but we connected us into one network. And the difference is that we do not need Wi-Fi in order to use OSC messages. I don't know if you know what OSC means. It's an open sound control message. And this is basically a protocol between different electronic devices to communicate with each other. If you're familiar with MIDI, then it's kind of similar to MIDI, but it has way bigger frequency range, and also you can connect stuff with data, with network, over network. Okay, if this is done, then you can open the Mac if you didn't already do it. Or if you did, then please go to the file. You don't see it here, but you should open a new patcher, and it's in the file menu. And I think now the most interesting part starts. So those of you who have Apple and downloaded this Gyro OSC app, which looks like this, then you can open this, and you can see all kind of weird stuff there. So at first we need to establish, as I said, a connection between computer and your phone, and this we do with IP address. I think this is familiar. Okay. Then you can, on Mac, also easy, just open network preferences, and you get the IP address. And on the Windows, I think there is also something like network preferences where you can see it.
Should we download that app?
Did you download one of these apps? What was written there?
Yes, it's called Protocol.
No, then you have to download this also, because Protocol you actually need in your computer, but if you use this app, then you don't even need it. It's a bit complicated, but basically, if you can, you could download this.
Okay,
yeah.
what's the name?
Y, O, R, yeah, OSI.
For Android, I found it seems a very nice one is multisense OSC.
Mm.
It looks like it has location and orientation.
Yeah, this I also saw, but I am just not familiar with this. Okay, but if you can find the OSC address, then you can try out if yeah, you have another app. We are not there yet, but maybe you can also
download that one. Maybe.
Yeah, Tarmo, what was the name?
Multisense.
Multisense. But if you are using iPhone, then you can keep this one.
What about the port and the tag?
Yeah, we go there. At first, then if we are all on the same page, which takes a bit time, then we need to write this IP address in your computer to your app. And yeah.
Different for me, probably.
Yeah, exactly. You can open, if you scroll this one, yeah. Then you'll find a kind of chain link.
Yes.
Yeah. And then here tap, can you tap on it?
I tried. Oh, no.
Yeah, and now go to OSC. And is your phone and your computer in the same network
Yes.
now? And do you have in your computer the protocol program?
Yes,
Okay, then open the protocol program.
I just did.
Mm-hmm.
OSC also.
Yes, and you can choose some kind of port for yourself. Just write like, I don't know, 7004, for example. And then now you can press browse, and you should find your computer, the name of your computer. But, yeah, this I think, is it
I
here?
don't know.
I think it is because,
Okay.
yeah, and is this now the
No.
same?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Wait, am I really connected? Yes.
Mm. Okay, but then open the network preferences and check the IP address.
From my Mac?
Yeah.
Okay, I have that. And then just put in host and then the address. Or
Yeah, actually it should find your computer.
Okay.
But wait. Is this the same one as you have it here?
168. I cannot see the whole thing, unfortunately.
Okay, okay.
Wait, maybe. It's loading out well here.
Yeah, this is always. I'm sorry?
Which is the IP address that we have to?
The IP address is the one in your computer, because essentially you establish the connection between your phone and your computer. We are in one network, but the connection is only between your devices. Yeah, it takes a little bit time because this is always the most exciting and difficult part of this all what we are doing here.
So port can be 9999 and the task should be...
Yes, even though I think it's better if you choose a port for you. Just choose a number which is only your number.
Alright,
Mm.
and the tag?
Tag you don't need at all.
Okay, just save it.
So,
Didn't work really. Like I tried to put in the number of my.
mhm.
Oh, maybe I forgot the dot. Wait.
Mm.
Dot. And then press browse again, or should it?
No, then it should be. Yeah. Oh, well. But actually, this one computer that you found, it should be your computer.
No, it had
It's definitely not.
109. in the
Okay.
end.
Of course, actually. You know what we could do? Sorry. I think it would be cool if you establish your own network, then it's probably easier. So if you go to here, in the network icon,
Yeah.
and then press create network. Do you have it? Create
No,
network.
I have other, and then system.
Okay, can you click on this? Because actually on Mac you should do your own network, it should be possible.
Here maybe? I've had some problems with
Yeah.
network with this one actually.
Mm.
But like if I go here,
Mhm.
no.
No, this is just a. Or this is einstellen, no?
I mean maybe I can. This is what I can choose from. I don't know. If
But
it's
put this plan, yeah, and then erstellen. But I don't know if.
it's my
Yeah, and you can try to see if you have this network. No, I don't know.
Oh, maybe I have to. Okay, wait.
So how far are you? Okay. Yes. It always takes some time, so it's not too bad.
So I think one of these two is the.
Mm-hmm.
the
This
first
one.
Okay.
Yep.
But it didn't work.
Just write it there, and nothing has to happen right now.
But the option save is not possible.
Okay, but can you?
Yes,
But which app are you using right now?
this one.
Okay. You have to write this IP address here.
Oh, directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm also lost. Like from here on, I put the same IP.
Yeah, exactly. This is
So
good.
from now.
Now we have to do it all together because we are not there yet.
Okay,
And do you also have it?
Yes, I have a gyroscope, I guess.
And somewhere here you have to be able to choose IP address.
I already did it.
You did it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So,
Didn't work. I will go out of the network too.
okay, but what you can try to do is that use then still this OS, the IP address, and then write this port in the app.
I tried. I can try again.
But right now, nothing happens anyway.
No.
No. Damo, did you use this multisense or?
I can't get the messages coming in. I don't know if it's
Okay.
what's the problem.
Yeah, exactly
But
this.
I didn't
Yeah.
use Windows often, so maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So are we? So you have IP address. Yeah. You have written it in, and now there is a port number, right?
Yes.
Then you chose already your port number, right? You can also write there is like 9999, but write something else. Write like 9998, for example, because we need to have like separate port numbers.
Remember that number?
No. Well, yes, in the next step, yes, but.
Four numbers.
Should something come here in the like I just put in all the numbers, but when I put the
Mhm.
host, nothing happens. So I just put.
This receive port take away,
Okay.
and it looks green. So maybe you just press done right now. Let's see. And now go back. Okay, that's. Can you do it? Okay, great. And
It's
now,
glitching.
yeah. And now you should. Okay. Yeah, it's always a little bit, takes a bit time to make these first steps, but then it gets easier. It's just a bit, yeah, computers, you know. So everything can happen always. But okay, and for you, you have this multi-sense. Can I just choose? Okay. No, this is just about. You just opened it, that it was like this.
Yeah, and I put the address, the
Ah,
IP. and
you already
the-
put.
Yeah.
And can you go back where you put the IP address in?
I don't know, maybe it's right.
Ah, okay, great. Yeah, then go next. Yeah, then you are. And now let's go to accelerometer. Okay. Now it's a little bit the question of what is your. Let's see what is. Ah, okay. Leave it like this right now. Okay, so we are connected more or less, and now
I managed
Yeah.
to go back.
cool. Then press on this thing here, and now go here, and now use the sensors. Choose this, and now just press play. Ah, this has to be something. Oh, yeah. Let's see. Ah, yeah.
Oh.
Press this. Yeah, cool. Okay. Now, if everything should work, then you have this new battery max, right? I already have something here, but I can do it again. We are still not there. We have to make a connection. And that's why we use an object in Max called uuteks. So I just put it here. Yeah, of course you don't see it. It's super small. And now you see, wait. You see I have 4 numbers behind this object, right? This is the port number, the one that you chose.
The other objects.
You can press N also.
Mm.
Ah, that's what you mean.
Just click on the badge and press N. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, if you have any questions or if I'm too fast, then just tell me. And then if you have written the port number also, then press enter, and then you have it. Okay. And now there is a lot of stuff coming out of there if everything is good. And that's why we need to route what kind of information we want to have. So basically, these apps, like for example this one, what some of you use, it sends a lot of stuff out. You can see here all what kind of data it sends out. It's all different kind of data about how this phone is moving or what does it do. And that's why, yeah, we need to route. So people who, well,
Before routing, if I don't know what is coming out, how can I, in the next step, see what is coming out? Is that in general evaluating the lectures, what is coming out?
it depends now. I mean, you could probably do, wait, of course. Yeah. It also, if you, so I have here already some kind of connection. You can just write root, for example. No.
I guess you can see the messages from that.
Mm.
Somewhere in the configuration you can see the phone.
Yeah, there are like different things. One thing what you need to check from the app is the address name, like what kind of information you want. But if you want everything, then you can. Whoops. I think it should also print everything. Let's see. Yeah. So it, right now it prints everything what it sends out. Yeah. But we want right now different things what I have prepared. So those of you who are using this app, you can write in, I make it again bigger. You can write the root and then the name, OSC address. Basically what we have here is that you see the name of the app. And then I chose to use this particular value from there because this is the easiest to work with. For you? Oops, sorry, I put it back. Yeah. Did you also write the port number in?
Yes, but I don't seem to receive anything yet.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. No. Did you? Are you so far as me here? Cool. Okay, then you should write two objects. Yeah, you.
Yeah.
These two. Do you see it? Good. So this is now for people with other app, but not your app. But what you can, so the people with Android and with multi-sense app, let's see if it works. You could write in root and then this address with X.
Okay.
So are you receiving anything?
Not that I'm not listening. I have to write print, right?
Mm.
I just wrote root, OS,
Mhm.
account.
Okay. Let's see if I receive anything.
There is something wrong. Don't know if it's
Yeah, you need, it's, yeah, exactly. Make a space after root.
after
Root. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And can you make press F and can you connect it? Yeah. Okay, you are not receiving anything.
No.
And this is. Can I check it once?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Ah,
Oh wow.
I forgot the small detail. Okay. This is already good. You are in this?
Yeah.
Yeah, this already you put all in then. Let's see.
I took out the because it crashed when I put it in. Let's see.
Mm. Ah, you have a space there, no? In between 2 and 1, or not?
No, I don't know.
Ah, no. I don't know. Okay.
Oh, but now wait.
Mhm.
I mean, this is mine.
Ah, okay. Then click done. And now click play again. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. We have at least one person with a connection. That is already good. Sorry. Okay, we do it all together. Can I
Yeah,
use?
of course.
Okay. So. Okay, the port number has to be 4 numbers. Can you put
really?
just
Okay.
7 there or something?
7, right?
Yeah, for example.
That's why I didn't connect.
So let's see now. Yeah, the beginning of Max always takes a little bit time, but then it gets at some point exciting. Okay. Can I check once you're? Yeah, I will just do it. Oops. And your phone is also in the same network, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What? Oh,
Oops, not anymore.
Sorry.
Well, it should be, yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Ah, okay, now it's running.
Good.
So 4 numbers.
Very good.
I have Android. So yeah.
If the phone is not running, drop it.
Yeah, this is the very smart thing of. Okay, you have multi-sense. Yeah, this is a bit. Did you put IP address in?
Mm-hmm.
Can I see it once? Where you did it?
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Okay, that's my IP address.
And this is the one, the computer's IP address,
Yes,
right?
it's this one. This
Yeah.
one.
It has to be this first one.
Ah, the first one. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see. It was 107 in the end, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, and now, yeah, because you are using this app, then could you, let's see, could you write this address in?
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Oops. How is it going here?
I think B.
Did you receive anything?
No.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, sorry, I just.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay. I wanted to. Can I? Sorry. Yeah. 104. And your phone is also in the same network, right? Okay. Okay, because.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
check. But I think
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But maybe. Yeah, it should. work. Yeah. Okay, then I right now don't know the reason why it doesn't work.
Okay.
But
Maybe I can try to do it again from zero.
yeah, it can be. Yeah, because this is Apple, right?
Yeah.
It can also be a bit connection problem here. I don't know it, but we can check this later.
Okay.
But is it okay for you if you use your mouse as a sensor right now?
Yes.
Okay, then we do it like this right now. And how is it going for you?
I'm still here.
How did you manage to connect up?
I don't have the same as you.
Actually, yes, because I am Android one. Oh.
Well, I couldn't get multi-sense
No.
messages coming in.
You could?
No.
Okay, yeah, so as you can see already, we are very in.
No, I'm very stupid. I think I could.
Ah.
I can say. But the thing is, that when you want to have messages coming in,
Oh.
and there are these
Okay.
simple.
And do you also get it in Macs or you didn't check it?
I want to know the Linux side to check the messages, so I don't have Macs running.
Okay, okay. Wait. Okay, there was something already. Still not. Okay. Okay. And how is it with you? Did you? Okay. And did you also connect it already with Max or not yet? Oh, cool. Okay, you get already everything. Okay. Yeah, this is what we use. Cool. So. Okay, so we have. You are connected. You are connected. You are connected. Are you also connected or not? No, you are using this Android app, right?
Yeah. Can I just show me?
Yeah, because it doesn't.
So that you have to.
Yeah, to switch on. Can I? Oh.
Sorry. Yeah, unfortunately, I am not so familiar with Android, so I cannot really do too much because I don't know what is the problem. But basically, this routine, what we did right now, that was super chaotic and super, I don't know what. This is how you can make a connection, and this is an open sound control connection, OSC. And as I said, that if you would do something on professional level, I would use like a specified sensor to this and not phone, but this is the first possibility. But for those of you who did not get the connection, I would still like to go on so that we actually do something today also. And that's why I would propose that you use your mouse as the input. Okay, and that's for this. We need to put this computer mouse in the Max program. So yeah, you can write this object, mouse state. You can. Yeah, as we already learned, we get a new object in Max when we press on N, and then write it in.
The N is not working. Just suddenly.
Yeah, it's unlocking.
It's locking at all.
And one thing is, of course, important that if you get information, then you should not close your phone, because then you close the app. How is it going there with this multi-sense?
I'm trying to switch off all the firewalls or something.
Okay.
Fuck you. What? Sorry, I'm cold.
Yeah, okay, if you made this object mouse state, then press M, and you get a message box. And you can write in a word poll, because this is how we make the object active, so to say. I'm sorry? Yeah. Yeah. Does it work or not? Yep.
M for message.
Yeah.
Okay.
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 Yes.
I got these two dots like green and red on the wire. You see?
Yeah, this is.
Is it correct?
Yeah.
All right.
And yes, then connect this poll, which is a message box, to the mouse state object.
Sorry, how do you do the message box? Yeah, did the M, this M thing?
Yeah, just press M.
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 The
But like for the white one.
I'm sorry?
there's a comment. It's C.
Yeah.
We don't need comments, right?
No, but you can add it so that you remember afterwards. Yeah. So this object here is a M. It's a message box. This object here is a comment. It's a comment box. And this comment box you get with when you press C. And then you can write into it. So the difference between these two objects here is that message box is sending data through the other objects in Max. But the comment is just for comments. So you can just write whatever this object does or something like this. So do we have it all? Yeah. Then we need to lock the batch in order to press on this message box, because right now, if I press it, you know, it turns active so that I can write into it. Or so how do we lock a batch? We do it in Mac command, click command, and then click mouse click. And then it turns like this. So now I open it, now I close it. On Windows, it should be control. So you press control and mouse click.
Okay.
Do you see the difference in the batch? In your batches and not in my batch?
No, actually, command and click. That's
No, command E.
command,
Right?
No, command and click.
To lock it.
as well.
you need to
Okay.
just lock the patch also from the screen, right? Yeah. Okay, now it's working.
Are we all on the same page?
Not really. Mouse state. And what's the M?
M is this object here. So you press M and you get message box.
Yeah.
And in the message box, you write poll
Yeah.
in there. And then you connect this message box with the mouse state object.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah. And then you close the patch. You can also do it on the left corner of the patch. You see a small lock sign. You can also press on this.
Okay, it is command E, right?
Command and mouse click. Or Eke said that command E also works. For me, command E is doing something else. Yeah. So do you see a difference in your Max patch? Cool. Then we lock the Max patch and we click on poll. Yeah. Now we unlock a Max patch with the same command and mouse click, or with this small icon. And now I try to even zoom. Okay, I cannot zoom more in, but can you see what is going on here, right? We make two number boxes. Number boxes we click on F on your keyboard, F. Do you see it all? Do you have it? So let's make 2 of them, like this. So now there is a difference in Macs between number boxes, and I can show you right away what is the difference, and you can say to me what is the difference. All right? So you don't patch right now, you are just watching what is going on. Wait, I take only these 2. Oops. I am showing it to you in such a very extent because this is the main problem that happens in Macs. This is the problem why you get errors in every kind of Macs patching that you are doing in your life. Okay. It's a very simple, and if some of you already know the answer, you can already shout it. So, what is going on here? Exactly. Do you see all? So this is the F, what I wanted you to write. It's a floating point number box. And this is integer. And the problem with Macs is now that very often we need to use the floating point number box, because otherwise we get incorrect data.
How do they make a difference?
Yes. So the float was F, right, on the keyboard, and the integer is E on keyboard. I, sorry,
You
I.
have to write 2F and 1 I? Or
I'm sorry?
like the first one is F and I.
You don't have to do it. It was just for example, so that you see what is going on here. I just, I mean, you can write it if you want also, but this was just for example. So this comment box that I did there right now, I always use it in order for you to see what kind of commands to use. So to get the floating point, you use F, and to get the integer, you use E, I.
How do you call the main box, the N?
N is just the object box,
Object
because
box, M is
message.
message. Okay.
Yeah. Because basically these are also objects, but since they are so often used, then there are like shortcuts. What you could also do is to write N, new object, and write this flow. No, it has to be flow. No, yeah. If I write like this, I get it also. Yeah. But shortcut is good because you need it a lot. Okay. Then we go back. So those of you who are doing it with mouse state object, you did 2 of the floats, exactly. And now we have to connect it with the second outlet, which says to you mouse horizontal location. And you can connect it with first. And you should see some kind of numbers going on there. Because it's the second and the third outlet. So you don't do anything with the first outlet. You connect this. Cool. You can, you already have these numbers there, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how is it going with you? Did you get the, yeah. Whew. Okay, now what we need to do finally, because as you can also notice, we are all doing random numbers. We all have like different kind of numbers because we don't use the same technology right now. So what I want to do is that we need to scale these numbers so that we finally talk about the same data. And I want to scale this different kind of sensor input what you have You have it also, right? You're connected, yeah. And the mouse, what we use right now, this all that we can finally talk about the same numbers and do something useful with this. So, with your app, I think now the ones who are using the smartphones, what we want to do is, so you have this root accelerometer X, right? And you need to unpack your data. The ones who are using this app. So this is what you have right now. You have this, right? The object to get it in. And you have the root object, these two. The thing is that we need to, it sends out a lot of different kind of values. You don't see it there, but it's 3 different kind of values. But we want to unpack them in order to work with these values separately. That's why there is make a new object and write in unpack. You don't have to do it because you already have this unpacked. And we, with the mouse, also doesn't have to do it because we already have these 2 different values. So you write unpack, and then you need to specify what are you unpacking there, what is going on there. So as I already said, there are differences between floating point, number, integer, and I also said that floating point is probably a better idea because mainly you get problems if you use integer. So this is how we have to also specify it. We make 0, dot, 0, dot. So we get like 2, 0 in this case doesn't mean the number, but it means the variable. So what it essentially says is that send out floating point numbers. And then you connect this object with the root object, as I have it here.
I don't really see the logic where we need to unpack 2 times, but I think it's too complicated.
I'm sorry?
Why do we need to unpack it twice? Like
No, you don't have to do it. What you have to do is this. I just wanted to explain how to do it. I'm sorry. Okay. So now we have this here, right? Okay. And now you can again do 2 floating point numbers, what we already learned how to do, and connect with outlets. So, and now we should be able to see numbers there. Just the easiest way to control it is that you hold your phone like this, just like this, and you turn it left. And this, oops. And you should see the first number is the X value now, which is the axis that we are using right now. Do you see something like this, what I see at the screen? Yeah, so...
I turn it like 5%, it's already at 1. Guess it's my phone.
Can I have it?
Sure.
Yeah, there is something weird going on. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very sensitive one. Oops. Can I just... Okay, yeah, it has to be probably your phone because it's the integer, like a sensor that you have in your phone.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. But then maybe you use also this right now, and then we can afterwards somehow try to correct it. Okay. So I get, now I use the same app that you use, this one. Some of you use it. On the X value, which is the left, I get minus 0.9 and plus 0.9. Right. This is already good. So just to recap all what is going on here is that when we use the people who are using this app, like you, Do you get the same values, right? You get between minus 0.9 and 0.9.
Yeah, it's really slow, but it's working.
Yeah, this is probably the connection problem. So just remember these values. And those of you who are using the mouse state, so now the important thing about this mouse state is that it all works inside the batch area. So now you see only half of my batch. Yeah. But basically, now it's like from one side to other, from the computer screen. And it, yeah, and this is how I get this value. So it's 0 on the left side of the computer screen. And it's 1920 on the right side. Yes, it is different, and it has to be different because it depends on the size of your computer screen. What is important is you have to specify the minimum and maximum value. And let's only work with the X value. And can you make this batch big? Because then this mouse is inside this batch. Yep. Yes, so let's only work with the X value. So you have minus 0.9 until 0.9, and the ones, did you also get it?
No, not the last part, because I was trying to connect the...
Does it work or not? Okay, then maybe you can also use the mouse right now. Because then we can get a little bit more into what can we actually do with this. Because right now, if we are only working or trying to make a connection working, then yeah, we are just losing time. But basically, this is how we were trying to make it work. This is how it should work. But yeah, since we are dealing with network and with different kinds of technology and so on, then there is always something that can go bad. All right. Yeah, so we specify the horizontal axis of the computer screen right now, the ones who are using mouse. So for me, it's 0 and 1920. So you can write next to this horizontal axis floating number there. You can make a comment with C and write in the values that you just saw, not on my screen, but on your screen, from left to right.
It doesn't matter, it's horizontal right now.
Yeah, we only work with the horizontal.
Right.
So for the phone, it means the axis like this.
Does it have to be really accurate?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, basically, if you use the same app that I showed, then it's yeah, the value between minus 0.9 and 0.9.
You're talking about the mouse or the phone?
Phone. If your phone works, then use this. If you want, you can also use the mouse. But basically, the idea is to connect the sensor, which is our phone. So are we all on somehow on the same level?
No, it's good.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if it's easier for you, you can also use the mouse, then we all just do the same stuff. But basically, finally, it doesn't matter what you connect with your computer. It's always some kind of value between 0 or minus 1 and some other value. And then we work with these values in the computer. Okay. So yeah, we have this number, and now it's a little bit like a big number, maybe, at least for me. I like to work with the values between 0 and 1, because this just somehow makes more sense than, and it's also easier to calculate than with 0 and 1920. So then we make a new object with n. We click on n. And we write in their scale, because we want to scale these numbers into some kind of useful value that we have. Oops. And yeah, for this scale object is doing exactly this. So at first we need to specify the old values, the values that you just wrote that are doing, that your mouse is doing. So for me, it's 0 and 1920. These are the old values. And we are scaling it into numbers between 0 and 1. So I have a question. So if I just write like this, what you see there, I don't know how good you see it actually, but what might be the problem there right now? We just covered this topic.
Input low, input high.
Mm-hmm.
Output low, output high.
So what do you think, what should we do? Yes, but do you remember this unpack object that we used before? How do we specify in this line that we have right now, how do we specify that it's a floating point and not integer? Yeah. Exactly. So why do I ask it with such annoying preciseness is that this happens so often that you forget this dot. And if you want to work in Max, then remember the dot. That's how it is. And now you connect the number box with the first output, input of the scale object. Are we all there? Cool. Then please make a floating point number box. How did we do it? Yeah. And now if you move your mouse on the horizontal axis of the computer screen, you should get numbers out between 0 and 1. Does it all work?
No. Mine goes to minus.
Very good. This is a very good thing. Could you please explain what is going on? In what do you see there?
It doesn't start at 0 when I'm at the left side. It starts at minus 1.5.
Mm-hmm. And what happens on the right side?
It goes to 1.
Okay. Did you all hear what? This is the case study we are working right now. Could you explain once more? What did you write in the scale object, and what is going on?
Well, I wrote that I want to have numbers between 0 and 1, but I get numbers between minus 1.5 and 1.
Mm-hmm. Is somebody, but none of you has the same problem, or? No. Okay. This problem, why do you get it? Is that the scale object, you gave the old input and the old minimum and the old maximum, right? The 0 and 1,000 something. Mm-hmm. And the scale object, what it does, it's not a hard border. It means that if your number, the old minimum goes over, or the old maximum or old minimum goes over this number that you put in, then it doesn't like cut. It doesn't do any cut. It just scales it more, even though you put that you want between 0 and 1. Mm-hmm. Do you understand what I mean?
I think so.
So basically, if your, let's say, the old minimum and old maximum, the first two numbers at the scale, you write, for example, I can also do it actually, I show you on here. Let's say I think this is my old minimum and old maximum, 100 and 1920, right? Mm-hmm. And this happens because actually the left side of my computer screen is not 100. The value is not 100, it's 0. And that's why it goes over, it doesn't like stop at 100, but it goes over. So it gives me minus values. That's why we also have another object in Max that is called XMap. Oops. Map. Nope. Wait. What is this? Sorry. Yeah, ZMap. Sorry. So, and now write again. Write the same numbers. So write the same numbers that you have at the scale object. Write also in the Z-map object.
We have to do two.
Yeah. Just that you have it as an example. And then connect it again with the floating point.
What is 100?
I use 100 right now to make the difference between these two objects. You can also use it, but since none of you had this problem that you had, then both objects work the same way. Yeah. But I show you the difference right now. Yeah, so what Z-map is doing, it is actually cutting everything down to the number that you gave in. So basically everything under 100 is 0, and it doesn't go into minus. So it is basically, Z-map is a kind of hard cut scale, and the scale is more flexible. And again, why do I make it so, or try to make it so precise, is that it's again very common mistake in MaxMSP. That you, especially when you work with sensors, because with sensors very often you don't know what kind of values you are working with. It can be a little bit different than you think that they are. So that's why Z-map is often more useful than scale. Do you have questions right now, or does it make sense somehow what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it makes sense a bit.
Okay, the new object with Z
Mhm.
is not working. But
Uh-huh.
the first one is working. So it's working, but this one not.
You have to connect it with the number
Oh,
box
sorry.
and not with the scale.
It's also that it's just lagging like a lot. The mouse, the floats for the mouse, they just don't come with the mouse. And then it starts running. It's like
I'm sorry, I don't
it's
understand.
lags, yes.
Hmm.
praegu näiteks ütlesid, et okei, hakkas vaikselt pihta, vahepeal lihtsalt jääb seisma, freezib nagu.
Yeah, but your mouse, selles mõttes praegu sa ju ei tee midagi või, okei. Ja see on ilmselt,
ei, kõik on hästi, lihtsalt ongi see, et nagu noh.
ja ma arvan, see on arvuti ei ole piisavalt. Ja. Okay, hard part is done. I'm actually thinking that we are already, I don't know how long this, Eke, how long do we do it today?
As long as we feel like.
Okay, because it would be cool to do at least one sound, I guess. Do we, no, I also want to have a visual representation of what we are doing. Or would you like to see a line that is doing what your mouse is doing? Cool. Then we need a new object. So press N and write in multi-slider. Yeah. So do you see the same as I do? Cool. So multi-slider is a really cool object, and it really depends on what we want to do. That's why right now we need to specify some kind of stuff what we want this multi-slider to do. So we go on the right side. There is a tab called with the eye on there. Do you see it? Click on it, and your multi-slider has to be selected. And then you should see something like I do. Do you all see it? Cool. Then, so what we have to do here, okay, you don't. You have to find, there is a lot of stuff, you know, like appearance and behavior, color, description, all the stuff, you know. You see it all, you can read it. And you also see a tab called sliders. You can scroll this inspector down a little bit. And there you see number of sliders and the range. So we have to change the range. Do you have a suggestion to what do we have to change it?
0 to 1.
Yeah, exactly. And then you can press enter. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm just, I have to click on all.
Okay, then there is another thing that we have to change to make it like more cooler visibly. And this is when you go into styles, like under the range that you just wrote in, there is styles. And there is a slider style. And what we want, if you click on this, you can see there are different kind of options. Yeah, you don't see it on this. Wait, I can. Okay. Here. So it's, yeah. And then we want to use point scroll. It's the third one from there. Okay. And now we let's take this one that you made with set map. I put this away from you. So you have this value there, this with set map and the floating point number. And now connect this floating point number with this multi-slider. Yeah. And now we basically have visual representation of what we are doing. Are you all there? Cool. Yeah, this is unfortunately something that can happen. If it's too slow, then of course it yeah, doesn't work so good. Anyway, what we also should do, but actually with mouse it doesn't make so much sense, but okay, let's do it anyway, because if you work with sensors, this is one of the essential things what you want to do with sensors. I once just show it. So if you see these numbers, I'm now using my phone. What do you think, what is going on there? Like, what could be the problem there, actually? I mean, can you read? Can you read what I'm doing there? You can just check this number. Sorry?
You mean that it goes to negative?
No, this is not even a problem right now. Okay, if I would ask you to do something with this information, do you think it's like easy or not really? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And this is what always happens, because you know a human body never stops. Like, you always move a little bit. I mean, I'm trying to hold it, and you see, it doesn't stand.
Even on the ground, it's moving.
Yeah, on the ground, yeah, now it's stopping, but I do like this, and it's, well, the other one is changing. So this is kind of cool. This actually shows that we are alive. But what it doesn't really help us to do anything useful with the sensor. So what we normally have to do with the sensor is that we need to make it a little bit more smooth. And you can also actually see it with your mouse, that if I am, you know, it's not enough values. Yeah, okay, you don't see anything again. Yeah. But it's a bit like confusing, no? Yeah. That's why I want to, yeah, I want to make it a little bit more smoother. And for this, we make a new object again. Press N. And we write slide. And what we can specify is that how fast does it slide up and how fast does it slide down. Since most of us, we are working right now with the mouse, it's not such a big problem, but with sensor it's always a problem. So let's make, for example, slide up 10 and slide down also 10. So basically this specifies the time, how like fast or slow it is sliding.
Is it milliseconds or?
Yes, should be. It doesn't really specify it here, but in Max everything is milliseconds, so I'm pretty sure about this. Are we all so far? I can try to. Oops. Wait, this we don't need here. Okay, and then we connect this number box with the slide object. Okay, let's see if it made any difference. Okay, one thing what you can do, I mean with the number box it's not so easy to see. If you click on the multi-slider that you just created, and then on Mac you hold down Option key, and then drag this multi-slider, then you get one more. Yeah. On the Windows.
It's still option.
Still? Yeah. Okay. It's Alt, like Alt and drag. And this is also a very good feature because then you don't have to specify all the stuff again what we specified for the multi-slider, so it's exactly the same. Does it work?
Press Alt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can also press Command V.
Yeah, of course. No. Okay, and you can kind of already see the difference, no? Not a very big one, but it's there, like the left one, this one, is like more smooth. And especially when you move your mouse a lot on the horizontal axis, then you should see the difference. And just to make this example extreme, let's make one more slide object. Again, Option drag or copy paste or just write it again. Oops. And again from the number box, let's connect it once more. And now we can make the values, I don't know, let's make it extreme. Let's make it 500 and 500. And now again make one more of the multi-slider object and connect it with the third one. And now you can see super big difference, right? And this is now the question a little bit like how do you use with sensor, because this extreme example I would never use because it's so slow that the movements that you do never reach in the computer. And this is something normally you have to work a lot, you have to try to understand how to, like what is the optimal value of like making it slower, making it more relaxed. But on the other hand, not losing the reaction time of the movement. I would suggest right now that we use the one with the slide 10 and 10. So this one, yeah. Whoop. So I hide the other ones. So we take this, this object, what we did, with the values of 10. So this multi-slider we can just put on the side because this is just for the visual representation, and we want to work with this object.
We need just one right now, so we have to delete the second one.
You mean the vertical value? Or what do you mean?
The 500.
No, the second one, just the second one. This one, we need just one.
This is just a visual representation. You can delete them all, but I think it's cool to have, and I would use this with the slide 10 and 10. So connect the multi-slider with the slide object with 10 and 10. And then now we will work with the values that come out from this slide object with the values of 10 and 10.
Would you do it the same with the phone, like 10 and 10?
No, this depends a little bit. It really depends on how do you see this value. I mean, I can just show it once.
Like this one is so sensitive. Like
Yeah, but this is, I have a feeling there has to be some problem because I can show you, I also have it here. You see, it is sensitive. Oops. Wait, I have to do one more thing. Wait, no, not this one. Yeah. It is very sensitive, but you see this is the X value, and it's still kind of sends me. Yeah.
Maybe I can change something in the setting.
Yeah, maybe we can check it maybe later once. Okay. Okay, do we want to make a glissando?
For sure.
Cool, let's make a glissando. This is the most fun and easiest thing what you could do with sensor. So we want to make a sound object. We are so one thing about Max is also there are different kind of classes of objects. Right now, because we are working only with data, all the stuff that we have done until here, it's a data, like it's an information about something. We are working with the data. We just work with numbers. Huh? And now we are basically going into a sound domain for a very short time, but we arrived there. So for this, let's make a oscillator object. Does some of you know what an oscillator is? Probably all of you, yes. Cool. And in the Max, it is not written oscillator. In the Max, it's a cycle object. Now, okay, try to make it bigger. Whoops. This object. And this is the sine wave oscillator. So as you see, there is like a, it's called tilde behind this object. And this tilde makes this object as a sound object. And now we can write frequency. Oops, I lost. Yeah. Let's say 400. And press enter. Other thing what kind of happens in Max, and this tilde object is really, this tilde sign there behind the cycle word is very, very, very important, because now I might crash my Max or my computer or my Max, whatever, because if I don't write this tilde in there, I write it as a data object, information object, and I write in 400 because I want the frequency to be 400. Okay, let's see what happens. Maybe I kill my computer now. Ah, no. What happened is that I got an object with 400 outputs. Exactly, and yeah, and my Max, like the, how is it called now? Console is saying to me, perhaps you were trying to make an oscillator. So this is a kind of joke in Max, but this happens. And I mean, right now we don't do almost anything, so everything is okay. But if you have a lot of patching, then it can really crash it. So tilde, it's an important part of sound objects. All right. Yeah, so we have an oscillator with a frequency of 400. Maybe let's try to hear it also. For this, we make an object called live.gain. And this is a cool object because this is actually one of the objects that are connected with Ableton Live. Yeah, just do it. And then you get kind of, yeah, you see the sound decibel meter, whatever thing. Yeah, and I want to make it actually horizontal. So we already used the inspector. So keep the object selected, and then go back to the inspector. In the right side, there is this eye sign. And then you see there is appearance, the very first part. And there you can find a thing called, you can change the orientation there. And you can choose horizontal. Are you all following me? Cool. One thing no, let's keep it like this. And now you can connect this sound object, oscillator, with this live gain. And right now we are connecting basically a mono channel object into a stereo gain object, but it's not really a problem here right now. And you see the patch chords look different, and they look different because we are in the sound domain now. So this basically shows to you where the signal flows in the max. Cool. Yeah, and now we need an object called digital analog. Is it digital analog converter? DAC? Yeah. Cool. Okay, you don't see it. Cool. Yeah, this one. And this is how Max is sending sound out to the world. Yeah, exactly. So you connect, so as I already said, the live gain is a stereo object. So you have two different channels down here, the outputs. So the first output is channel 1. You can connect it in the digital analog converter, channel 1. And then channel 2. So what you can also, yeah, actually this is a good idea probably. We can also specify the channels in this DAC object. And this is of course 1 and 2 because your computer doesn't have more outputs. Okay, I make my computer a little bit quieter. So, do you all have this, what I have here? Yeah, because now you go in the right corner and turn audio on. Wait, I can try. Here, yeah. It's loud, so yeah.
Probably I should like go for the preferences or something like.
I'm sorry?
Are there like preferences for audio here?
No, you just have to turn it on here.
Yeah, but
click on it. And your computer is it's not muted?
No, it's not muted.
Okay, then maybe you have to. You can go. Where is this? Options.
And preferences, I guess.
Audio status. Audio status. What? No. And here you should somehow try to select. You should be able. Maybe no. It's not a driver. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
But because it's probably I should like put it on. I should turn up live because it's binded with live, so maybe it's.
Yeah, then you have to probably turn it on in live.
Okay.
Yeah, because you had this driver that was live. Yeah.
Which is lagging so bad. I got signal for 1 second, but I think it's about the CPU or something.
Yeah, could be. Yeah.
But I hope it's working.
Mm.
I would like to hear it again.
Maybe there is a buffer size.
Yeah, but it's just a mouse data. It's slow. No.
This
Yeah.
should be the computer program. It's so easy
Yeah.
calculation.
But I also don't know what to do in Max because yeah, it's so easy calculation. So I don't know.
What you mean? How can I change it? The
No,
buffer
I
size.
mean, the buffer size, if something's slow, but for you maybe the restart is
Mm.
because Max is very old program and has worked in very, very poor computers. And what
Yeah,
we
yeah.
do right now is really easy calculation, so that it should not be a problem for like any computer.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
So I don't see what's the problem.
I mean, it cannot really be the max buffer size because buffer size only works with sound.
Yeah.
No, it actually worked for a sec, but
Mm. Okay, we already hear what we are going to do now. All right, we had the sound, right? Oh, actually, this is okay. I have a question. So let's come back to the slide object here. And I also, so now you can see the number what is come out of slide now. We can make one more floating point there. So my question is, if we have this object, the audio oscillator, that is 400, the frequency is 400 hertz. And the numbers what I get out of this floating point, floating point box, what might be the problem here? If I want to connect it somehow. If I want to make my mouse to control the sound frequency of this oscillator. It goes too fast, but this we can change with the slide object. But exactly what is the problem with the numbers?
You can't hear it.
Exactly, because yeah, it's too.
Very low frequencies.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why what I want you to do. I want you to do it now, like very individually, to map these frequencies to something useful. Do you know how to do it? We just did it. Scale or the other one, right? So you please scale it into some kind of useful frequency. It could be something, the range of these frequencies could be something, I don't know, 300 hertz range. I am not doing anything in computer. And just say to me when you're ready. Did you understand the task?
Put the points, right?
I don't know. Don't connect the object, just make the object, just make the calculation. I mean, you can connect this, the scale or the other object with the floating point, but don't connect it with the audio oscillator. And if you're ready, please tell to me, then we can go on. Maybe, we see it very fast. Are you ready?
yeah.
Okay. And what was the object that you used?
Scale.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I used this other object, but in this moment, this point, it doesn't matter, so I also make it as a scale object. So now finally, we are very close to, the numbers doesn't matter, I mean, it just has to be somehow useful in order to hear what is going on. And since you are all sound students, then you probably know what we can hear and what we cannot hear. Yes, I think then we are actually good to go, but it's still, I think it's still a little bit too fast. Okay, let's make one more thing, and then, yeah. Yeah, it's, I think it's, no, okay, actually we can connect this stuff and hear if it's too fast or not. So let's make a floating point number box and connect with the cycle object, with the oscillator. And now let's connect this, what comes out of the scale, to this floating point. And now you can try to listen what, yeah. Can we see?
Yeah. It's just no sound. But it came for once.
Okay.
Are you using it in Ableton, right?
Can-
No, standalone, right?
yeah.
Did you,
Yeah.
you have to put like an input, like an output from the patcher, from the max patch to the
Okay, this,
sound in Ableton, right?
Yes.
yeah, this is actually
It's correct.
I'm trying to do it.
What about the buffer size? It's 512.
it doesn't matter
Right.
in this context. It doesn't matter.
So
Ah.
the object.
Yes, but I don't remember how.
This is wrong. So there is a lot of different outputs, right? And then you have to see what is written there. This is channel 2.
The sound goes to everything.
And now it should work, but it still doesn't get. You still don't get.
Yeah, it's because of the mouse signal.
Yeah, but you see signal here,
I think
so you should get some.
Yeah,
kind of
but
signal.
it's like stuck.
don't have
It's
to
just
send it
lagged.
to DAC.
That's the problem. But I have it with other programs too
But
sometimes.
it's
Okay.
not live gain also, right? Can you
Yeah, it's my computer shit.
Okay. Okay.
Can I reload this?
Ma ei tea, sa võid restarti teha. Võib-olla sa aitad. Ja, aga sa peaksid siin signaali nägema. Sa peaksid nägema seda siin. Oota, aga kas sa saad korra see audio options, kas sa saad korra avada? From the options.
Jaa, üritan siin.
Live
Küll hea mingi vaba.
You have to. You're not using it, like, look it up quickly.
Okei.
Näe, millega me töötama pean, jah.
Okei.
Võib-olla konsool, jah. Ma ei tea, ei ta vahepeal nagu hakkab punktima.
Aga põhimõtteliselt sa peaksid siin signaalid nägema.
Aga muidu on ju kõik õigesti selles mõttes.
Jah. Ja. Ja, lihtsalt ei tule kuidagi. Ja ilmselt on mingi driveri probleem, sellepärast audio options would be cool. Okay. Can we once focus and listen what I am doing? I know there is a lot of problems and it just gets more complicated, but it anyway makes sense to use Max for some stuff. But can you just listen once what I do? So what, not really glissando, no? Yeah. Okay, I can do the glissando if I try to be a little bit more smooth myself, But I don't want to practice this. I want to have this glissando. Then what we can do is that we make this value even more slow. So it takes even more time to reach to this point where I am with the mouse. And I think that this we do with another object. So we make a new object and write in a line. This is the favorite object of all of us. Yeah, and also it has to be with tilde, right? Do you all have it? Yes. Okay, so you make an object and you see it wants something from me. And what it wants from me is an initial value from where does it kind of start when I open the batch or whatever. So I would say at this time it is 400 because this is the lowest frequency of my scale object. So line wants something from us because right now it doesn't make any sense, this object really. So we make a message box, message object. Do you remember how did we do messages? M, yeah? Right. And then let's connect this message object with this line object. So what does line object actually do? Okay, I think I'll give you maybe one more hint how to work with Max, and this is that Max objects, all of these objects that we are writing, they have help files where we can read. If you don't know what this object does, you can read the help file. So if you right-click on the object, then the first thing what you can choose is open line help. And then it should, okay, open a new Max batch, like a batch with information. My computer decided to, okay, freeze a little bit. So do you see this? What I see here, this other object. Could you open this other batch, all of you? Okay. Then here you can see information, what does this object do? And the line object is used to generate a ramp or an envelope of the signal. And this line object, basically what it wants is that it wants where does it go, where does this envelope go, and how fast. So we can use just like single numbers, or we can also use list. Okay. So for example here, what we see, okay, let's take this one. This is basically a list input, and what this kind of message says to the line object is that go from 0 to 1 in 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds. Does it make sense for you? Okay. Then I ask, what does this might mean?
Back to 0 in 2 seconds.
Okay, can you formulate the whole message?
Up to 1 in 2 seconds, back to 0 2 seconds.
Yeah, so from 0 to 1 in 2 seconds, and then, yeah, exactly. And we can also use it with continuous values. So now come back to your batch. And what we want to write in, because we don't know what values we are working with. You know, I am working between 400 and 1000 with some kind of value. Okay, almost 1000, yeah. But we don't know, like, we don't know the whole sentence, kind of. We just know that we want some kind of value to go from something to something in, let's say, 2 seconds. Damo, did you have a question? No, okay. And for this, there is a very nice thing in Max, and this is a variable sign. And this is a $ sign. And since it's the first variable that we use right now, it's $ and 1.
How did you get it on Swedish?
$1 million question.
We only use
Where is
euro.
your dollar sign?
I got euro.
If euro is option, then shift the same number.
Yeah, I got the shift. Maybe it's
Then
with.
it's the option.
One
Oh,
number?
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know every keyboard by heart, so just try to find it somehow. So $ sign, do we have a $ sign?
It's, I think, option 4 on the Mac.
Yeah, or shift 4. I have shift 4.
One of those.
Did you find? Do you have a German keyboard? No?
Yes.
Did you
Swiss
try?
actually,
Okay,
it's the
this one.
same as German.
Then it has to be Shift 4. Did you try it?
Yes.
And it doesn't work?
It's the ch.
Okay. Option 4, you tried also?
Yes, it's the big one.
Okay, then I don't know because I also have German keyboard and this is dollar. Yeah. Okay, and you can also Google dollar sign.
Yeah, but I cannot go into the internet right now, or I'll lose connection with the.
Yeah, but right now you don't use this connection anyway, so.
Can you switch it to English?
Switch your keyboard.
To English.
You asked for British.
Oh.
You don't switch, you just select, you have a Mac, right?
Sorry?
You have a Mac or Windows.
Yes.
You can just take the show keyboard.
Ah. Thank you.
What's the trick?
Show keyboard viewer.
How do you get it?
When you go to the top bar, you have like these language flags.
And if you press shift or the key, then you take it.
Well, I saw it.
You saw it?
Yes, here.
Ah. God. Oh my God, it's even written. Sorry.
Okay, we all have this dollar sign, right? Now? Do you have it? You have it. Okay, let's write in dollar sign 1, and then right now I want 1 second. We can work later, but basically what it does is that it takes 1 second to reach somewhere.
So, dollars per second.
No, dollar sign is the variable,
Ah.
and this 1000 here in the message box. Yep, exactly.
Variable because we're getting so many different inputs.
Exactly. And for example, okay, let's say I move only once.
Sorry, could you also, why did you do 1? Could it also be 2, 3, whatever?
You mean the dollar sign 1? No?
Dollar
This,
sign 1, yes.
yeah, this is because it's the first variable that we use. You can, and for example, if you have a list and you have 2 variables, then it's dollar sign 1 is the first variable, the dollar sign 2 is the second variable. And in Max, in total, you can do 9 different variables, like different. So you, yeah, so I don't even know if the dollar sign, maybe in this case, dollar sign 2 also works. This is a good question. I try it once. I think it doesn't because it's only 1 variable that you are sending, you know? Ah, okay, actually I can't use it. No, I don't do it right now.
One object of
This I don't really know, but basically you can use, for example, you can use 1 sentence with 9 different variables and not more. But I mean, if you use it in this kind of construction, it doesn't always stay the same. It depends what kind of input you are sending, because it's only connected to the input. It's not like a global variable. Yeah. Okay, let's now connect the scale object with this message box. Are we so far? So, okay, I have one more question, which is actually obvious, but I ask it anyway. So, what kind of object is this line object here?
It's an audio.
Yeah. Exactly. And this means that what we cannot do. Sorry? So as I told you, we have, or as I said it before, we have different kind of classes of objects in Max. And right now this message box, for example, is like data, information, and this line object is an audio object. And this we can also see that if I take out the output, I see this yellow kind of cable. So now what we cannot really do, we can, as you can see, we can send audio, not all, but a lot of audio objects, we can send information via not audio object. We can do this kind of connection here. But what we can't really do is this, we cannot send it back to normal object. And for this, not normal, the information object. And for this, we have another object, so new. And now you need to find an object. Well, not this one. Yeah, you need to find an object called number with tilde. And then you should see something like this. And then you can do this kind of connection.
Number should you just press number.
So you can convert audio in data, basically.
You can do it, but you need some kind of object in between. Yeah, because what we do, we don't convert actually audio into data in this situation. We are just converting digital information of audio into digital information of data. So it's a little bit different than converting sound waves into data, you know. But yeah. Okay, and now do you see what I see? That nothing happens. Oh.
It's the same.
Or is something happening?
I have 500.
Yeah, cool. I will check your computer once. It's anyway cool. So the thing is that audio objects are only working when we turn on audio.
Oh, I didn't like.
Yeah. So do you know how to do it? Yeah, I hear that you know how to do it. So, so if you turn audio on, you should see some kind of numbers there. Yeah? And now do like this, then move your mouse only once, and then see what is going on with the number. Yeah, you see? What is going on?
It holds the frequency, right?
Well, it moves, actually. Sorry? Yeah, exactly. And this is exactly what we did to make this glissando more nicer. Okay, and now I think, let's see. Let's see if I can.
Quite heavy for my
Yeah, and now we can see one thing. You know, as I told you, audio objects and the information objects. Since this number box is an audio object, I can connect it with another audio object, like this. What I can also do, but I wouldn't do too often, is that the audio number box has another outlet. And this is where you actually get the values out as information and not audio signal. So there is difference between signal and data. Yeah.
Why do we put the number thing in between and not connect it directly to the cycle?
You can do it directly, but it's cool to see sometimes the numbers.
Ah, okay.
But if I batch like more stuff, then I actually take everything that I don't need. I take out like everything like visual representation. All I take out because then it's faster. But just here you can see what is going on. Okay, I want to also hear what I am doing. Do I hear? I don't hear. Why do I not hear? Yeah. Okay. So, wait. Does it work for you or not?
No, I have the same problem.
Okay. No, this is me. Okay. So, okay, then you still need to use the number box and not the signal. Yeah, it's still, you know.
It didn't work if you
No. I thought that it does, but it didn't. Which is a weird question, I don't know why. It's really weird.
It accepts signal.
Sorry?
It should accept signal.
Yeah, I know it should. Yeah.
Something strange is happening.
Yeah, so these are the things that you can just play around and find what you...
Can I try a different converter before it goes to output?
No. I mean, this is the only thing what is sending, like the only object that literally sends out
Yeah,
signal.
everything else is fine. This one is
No.
You can use easy tap.
Sorry?
Easy tap maybe.
Yeah, but it's the same.
Basically.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. So basically, I think we can finish here because I mean, there is a lot of things that I actually wanted to do, but we didn't really get so far.
Maybe you can show demo some of what you have prepared, or you don't have anything. Just a quick run through.
Yeah, I could. I mean, okay.
Would be cool. Otherwise, it's
Yeah.
always the problem for me with programming that you get some kind of LED blinking or sign going
Yeah.
up and down, and then you think, okay, but like how big the step is to actually make something that is useful.
Yeah. Well, okay, I can show you the patches that I planned to do today. This.
You don't have the converter.
The
You are
second box,
missing this one. Yeah,
second
but
object.
Yeah.
So what?
Which one?
The 850.
This one.
The 7 one.
This one.
Yes.
It's an integer and a code.
You are not the one who should answer because I wanted to ask that maybe you come up with this by yourself.
Yeah, but I don't understand why we
Yeah, so the thing was, as I told you, this audio number box with the blue tilde sends out from here, it sends out signal, the number as a signal. And on the other output, this one, it sends the same number out as data. Like as you see, like not audio, but as a number. And I don't know why, because I thought that it actually works like this, that you send the signal here. But somehow it didn't work, and I don't know right now why. Probably maybe it didn't really expect this, or I don't know.
But could you put the right output directly into the cycle also without going?
This one?
Yeah.
No, the one that you connected to the intersection. A little bit more. No. This one, like from here directly to here.
Yeah, this you could do. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, this you could do. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we didn't really do too much today, and I think there are like basically a few things we should talk about. Like one thing is that if you start with sensors, you saw how much work it is to actually make it working. And this is just something you really need to try out a lot and just try to make a stable connection. And actually I'm a bit surprised that we couldn't find these connections today because I have both of the apps on my phone and they both work. And this is something I can't really always find the problem. So yeah, this is just something to play around and try out and try more out and try more out and then find the... But the basic is that if we are working with network, what we do right now, so we don't have any cable connected to the computer, between computer and phone, then we are using open sound control, which is what I already told. It's a kind of protocol between different digital devices to talk with each other. And of course, one thing is that with network or also Bluetooth, even though I wouldn't use Bluetooth because of the delay, there can always be a lot of things that are wrong, you know, but this is just to play around and try again until you find a stable connection between your devices. And yeah, Google is a very good helpful tool for this. Anyway, and what we did right now, we tried to kind of first make the first steps in Max, what we would do. So the first thing is to make a connection. What we did, where is this object now? What we did is this object here, right? We wrote in this is the name of the object, and then the port number. And if everything works, if everything is in the same network and so on, then you should get out the signal. And I think I actually still get the signal. Yeah. So this works. So we make a connection at first. Then we need to know, because OSC data is always in this kind of format. You always specify at first where does it come from, and then what do you get out from there. And this kind of data format you will normally see in your app or in the web page of the device, like what kind of format you or what kind of name do you exactly have to use.
It is easier to print it, but on the control.
Yeah, exactly. What we can also do, I can just do it here once. So what I do right now, let's say that I don't know what I want to use, what kind of data information. So I can use an object called print. And yeah, now I get all this stuff on my console. The problem with print is that it never stops. You just need to delete the connection. And yeah, now you don't really, I think you don't really see this here, no? It's a bit, yeah, I cannot really make it also bigger, but basically this is everything what I got out of this app. Now I can see it here, and then I can see what kind of connection I want to do and what is the name of this specific connection. And then, okay. So one thing, for example, you remember we had to do the unpack. We needed to also unpack these values, and this is because this specific address gives me 3 different values, because the phone and a lot of other devices have 3 axes. So yeah. And then again, what do I want? I want, here we unpack X and Y, because they are the most easiest like values to start working with, so that it somehow makes sense. So then we got the values, and who remembers what did we do here? What was the next step? Yes, you're right what you're saying, but can you put it into a term that is not connected with the computer screen? Yes. Okay, what we are does somebody want to add something? Yes, we are defining the range. We are defining the range of the data. And what was the difference between scale and set map? What was the difference between these 2 objects here?
Well, the C map is more of an average.
One plan,
Because everything below and underneath and after the threshold basically that you put in.
And which one then?
The Z map of the scale, it scales all the values also in negative ways, so it has not a threshold.
Yeah. So the difference basically is that Z map makes a hard cut. Everything that falls under this value here, in the case of 100, will be 0. And it doesn't matter if it's 99, 87. It's always 0, because everything that is under 100 in this case will be cut, like hard cut. And scale does not do it. Scale, you specify a kind of average, but if the value goes bigger or smaller, smaller in the case of the minimum gets smaller, then scale kind of understands it and continues to scale the range. So it depends what you want. If you want always, okay, let's say you don't know what kind of values to get in, but you always want values between 0 and 1, and they are more or less corresponding to your movements. Then I would use set map, because then you can always rely on this, that you don't get any minus values, for example. If you don't know exactly what is the value that you are working with, but you still want to have it in the full length, then I would use Z-map, the scale. So there is no hard cut. So it depends. So, okay, we did this. What was the next step? What did we do here? I mean this object here now. Yeah, here we visualize it. This is true. But what?
The signal, basically.
Yeah, exactly. So as I said, there is a problem that, for example, if you have a sensor on your hand is always shaking, and it's sometimes difficult to work with values. It depends on the sensitivity of the sensor. For example, yours was a bit too sensitive, so yeah, it depends. So what you need to do, there are basically 2 points. The one point is that you need to make the values so slow that you can work with them, but you need to make them as so fast that you still get the gesture. For example, if I do like this, and then something happens after 5 seconds, then it doesn't work, you know. So I need to make it smooth, but not delay it too much. And this is actually an interesting question philosophically. Okay, and then the last step, what we did here. So what was the problem with these numbers? Why couldn't we use it as an oscillator?
Because it's flow.
This is not exactly the problem. Exactly. So if we have the data, finally, we scaled it between 0 and 1 because it's good to work with in different kinds of situations. But then you really need to see what do you want to do and what is the output. So you might need to scale it back into bigger numbers or whatever.
So on the left we see the range from 400 to 1K, but in 100 numbers, yeah? So we have to recalculate the frequency. It doesn't actually tell the frequency, no?
No, here it does. I mean, the 0 and 1 is not frequency, but this 400 and 1000
is. Frequency, but the 777, right?
Yeah.
Is some point between 400 and 1K right now.
Yeah.
But can you also make it work like when you play 400, you see 400?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
Okay, never mind.
I mean, the thing is that the 400 is when, you know, because the 0 and this 400, they are in correspondence. So the 400 is the minimum.
400 is 400.
Yeah, exactly, because if I have complete 0, I can't even get it on my computer screen. Almost, you know, 0.002. Then I'm close to 400, because the minimum is 400. And this is also maximum.
Yeah.
So it's correspondence to the numbers, corresponds to the ranges. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so these are really the important and first steps, what to do, to start to work with sensors, and then of course the question is what to do with this data. Well, I mean, glissando is cool, sounds funny, but it's also a bit boring. So it really depends, yeah, what is the aim, or what is the music, let's say if you really program musical stuff, what is the musical aim of using sensors. And
I have one question. If we scale bigger numbers to sit between 0 and 1 and then upscale it again, does it lose some resolution as well or not? For example, if we know that we want to end up doing something that is between 400 and 1000 and we don't first downscale to 0 and 1, is it better in the resolution or it doesn't matter?
I mean, probably it does matter a little bit, because it, no? Yeah, not enough, but I mean, there is, I mean, if you are completely objective, there is probably a difference, no? I mean, finally, if you do it a lot.
The numbers, there are 64-bit floating point
Yeah.
numbers, so
Okay, so it's just a question how many points after, how many zeros after the point I have, and so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, this is of course true. I mean, it's very precise anyway, and Yep, it will be precise. But I mean,
I was just wondering if,
yeah.
if you do the glissandi and still hear some stepping.
This you hear because programming, tweaking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and this is kind of the question for me also. Do you all know what is a MIDI protocol? Yeah, what is the value? How many?
1 to 127.
Yeah, exactly. And this is actually relatively big steps, you know, especially if you make a sensor like this phone sensor into MIDI data, then this I find often not satisfying. I don't want to make my movement into 127 steps. It works also, but I sometimes, yeah, I'm not satisfied. So it's a question of
You would like more steps.
yeah, exactly, because I actually get way more out. Like the sensitivity of my phone is way bigger than this 127 steps. But again, depends what you want to do.
So how do you end up routing it then to whatever you...
Lowest set.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right now we don't use MIDI at all, but
Yeah, sure, but then,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you go to, if you want to control maybe a plugin or something.
Yeah, then you have to see it, how can you do. I mean, there is quite a lot of plugins that doesn't work with 127 anymore, I think, I don't know. I don't really use a lot of plugins, but I mean, you have to do something with the data so that it's useful and this plugin can understand it.
You have to learn Max and program your own plugins and then you know it's it.
Yeah, exactly. I think this was it. I mean, if you want, I can show you something that I was actually planning to do, but was not really successful. Okay, let's see if I actually, do I want to? No, I don't need it. Is this cool? I tried this one. Cool. Okay, I mean, this is also just an example because I did it for this workshop. Also a very easy one. Let's see. Oh yeah. So I use this, what you have, this. So yeah, I got it in, I routed it, I made some smoothing, and then I actually packed them again. Yeah. And now you should see, so basically it's a kind of representation of my phone. No? So when I turn left, it goes left. When I am in the middle, it's middle. This black dot, you see it, no? When I go right, it goes right. Now it goes down, because the head of the phone goes down, or the nose of the phone. And I go up. And then what I did here is...
Sorry, the delay is because of the sliding, or the slowness?
Yeah.
Because of the phone?
No, right now it's because of the sliding, but there is also not a lot delay, I think. I think it's... There is a short delay, but I don't see it a lot. Or? What do you think?
No, but
Yeah.
just that it reacts so...
Yeah.
rhythmically, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and this object here, actually, if you want, you can maybe write it also, because maybe if some of, what is it, nodes. This object is called nodes. Wait, I make it big, and if you want to explore it at home, for example. This is the name of the object. Yeah, and this, what it basically does is that you can define areas in this, I have here like different notes. Actually, that's why the name is note, because they are notes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kind of areas of this small square here. And now you can see if I move it close to number 6, then I actually get the sixth slider gives me a higher value. Or now I move it close to 1, and the first slider is higher. So basically it gives me on the two-dimensional plane, it gives me the kind of position of this sensor in this case. Does it make sense? Yeah.
Basically, you can create those areas.
Yeah.
Specify the
yeah.
radius.
Yeah. Yeah. You
In
can
the info
in the inspector.
inspector.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit like handling between two components and combination.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Actually, it's quite successfully used also in multi-channel banding. Yeah, in a easy banding. Okay. Yeah. In the inspector, I can make them different kind of sizes. Yeah. Of course, you don't see it. Wait. Yeah, here you can specify node positions. Even though these node positions you can just change with the mouse also. And the node sizes. And then if you are between these nodes, then you get 0, basically.
So, is it possible to make live performance?
Yes, you can make live performances. And I do live performances with Max.
Yeah, that's what I understand. So, this is your main tool, or?
Not this specific patch what I'm showing right now, but yes, I use Max for everything.
Can we see?
A live performance of mine?
Yeah. Similar.
I mean, now I show you something, but you can't really see it because I play contrabass, and recently I also made stuff with voice, but this I need to prepare for this.
So, the senses is on the blockers and program.
Yeah.
Really?
Gabion. Also, again, languages. English. So, what I do is that I play contrabass and live electronics, and I have, quite often I have a sensor here on my right hand, and then I play whatever I play. I do free improvisation, and then like the data that comes out from the sensor, kind of what we did all together, but a little bit more complex or more refined. And then it does some kind of live electronics, like triggers music, for example, or for example does this. Okay, let's get the music out of this place. Right now, of course, I'm using Max examples as sound, but let's see if it actually does music. Yeah, yeah, that's good. Why not? Yeah, so it's not particularly musical because I'm using different sound files just right now. But basically, so this is the first sound file. This is the sixth sound file. You don't see it, sorry. Sorry, I make it more. Actually, I think it's also cooler if I make it a little bit more understandable. Okay. I make them a little bit smaller. Okay. So now it's perhaps a little bit more easy to understand. So basically, every node has a different kind of sound file connected to it, like every of these colorful numbers here. So this is the second. Yeah. Here there is no note, so everything is 0, nothing plays. This is the number 2, number 1. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and then I mean, of course, I wouldn't use this kind of sound files, but I would use maybe like panning, for example, or I would use different kind of delay lines that then do something with my sound or something like this. But basically, the idea is that then I can like kind of with my hand movement, I can influence what comes out like this. Or like some trigger stuff is also quite cool. Maybe I can show you this also. If it opens. Yeah. This is a little bit more complex here, but or not complex, it's more difficult to control it. Okay. Maybe. Okay. Almost ready. I need to do some routing. Yeah. This one. No. Okay. No. Okay. Let's see if this one is also working. I closed this one. So, don't see it. Make it bigger. Too big. So, basically here I have basically 4 different directions of trigger. And I have to do some kind of calibration here because it's too fast. I didn't do it. But anyway, if I trigger it right, let's see if it works. Yeah. This phone. I trigger it left. No. I trigger it up. Okay, this is the problem. It has to, these two up and down has to be changed. The values have to be changed. No. Actually the down is actually worked. Yeah, so this is something I need to calibrate. But yeah, then you can trigger different kind of sounds depending on the movement of the sensor. For example, or okay, you can do also a little bit more cheesy stuff. Maybe this one. Yeah. Let's see if it works. So what I'm doing here, and I think this will be the last example today, is that depending on how fast do I move the sensor, the shorter the amount of, so here I have a sound file, you see the sound waves. And right now, if you see everything is yellow, then it plays the whole sound file in the full length. What you can do, now I think it's a very funny thing actually. So, right now it plays it all, no? And now I start to move it. If I move it fast, then it plays very short. Yeah, you can do something like this.
So basically, it's a sampler that you...
Yeah. Yeah. So there are different kinds of possibilities what to do. So.
Can you just show how complicated are the patches that you are actually using in your concert?
Yes. I use projects. Let's see this one. Don't see anything. I use, normally projects, so it's easier to use. Project means that I have a lot of patches in one patch. And we have to wait now. I mean, I really, today some kind of problem happened with Max, and it does this, and I don't know why. Normally it loads very fast.
So basically you can like play an instrument with like actually playing an instrument.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be very advanced.
During your performance, you also have to interact with the computer, like, or you just set up the computer and then you do the performance?
Yeah, I do it like this because I play contrabass and my both hands are busy. So I can't really do it. And actually this was one of the first motivations to even start with this. So it's very practical, like controlling, like a solution for controlling. Okay, I think this patch will not open today, yeah? Because, I don't know what's wrong.
What kind of sensors are you working with?
Basically, I work with very similar one that is this accelerometer, but I just use like a small board here on my hands. It's like so big, and it has inertial measurement unit system in there, which basically gives me like these two, accelerometer and gyroscope, and also magnetometer, but I don't use magnetometer too often. But I actually, there is different kind of ways you can use, like where I work right now, they have OptiTrack. I don't know if you know OptiTrack. It's like a basically system that is very often used in like this Mandalorian, this TV shows when you do fight scenes, then it's used as to track the body of the fighter, and so you have a lot of points everywhere, and you can really track everything. So this is something I try to work right now, but I honestly have a feeling that very often, if you want to make music, you do not need the most complex technology for this, because then you get so much into the technology that the music part kind of gets lost. And I think this is, this shouldn't happen. I mean, if you are an artist, if you do music and not engineering, then at least for me it was important to make music, and that's why I don't need necessarily super complex technological equipment in order to do stuff that I like. But it depends really what you want. Okay, I think this is not opening today. I don't know. So basically this patch what I wanted to show, I did a lecture here also 1 month ago. It was, today was like the continuation for the lecture that I did 1 month ago actually. And then I also presented this patch.
I think it's up in YouTube.
Yeah?
I think so. Or if it's not yet, then it will be at some point, if you're okay with it.
Yeah, we can talk about this. Yeah, okay, now it actually opens. So, I mean, you can't really see. I mean, these are all my different sound patches. Yeah, you can't really see a lot here. I mean, it's just the presentation here. Or this is, not the presentation, but here is some triggering stuff. Maybe this is actually the more interesting stuff. I mean, what I do a lot, I do use like a very easy level gesture recognizer, which means that I teach my computer to recognize the position of my hand. And this is actually basically here. I mean, this is what I finally wanted to also arrive. So basically with the computer can recognize 6 different positions and then play around them. And then I also use the trigger, what I showed, and also this note. So but I think from here it's not so easy to understand what is going on here. But some sound patches are quite funny actually, because in Max everything can get super messy. Okay, this looks actually good. I wanted to show you something messy. Maybe this one? No, this is also good. Okay, so one thing, if you start to work in Max, then you have to be super precise and not make stuff messy. As you see, I am actually quite precise. I was hoping to show you something that you should never do. Yeah, okay, this looks... Yeah, it looks quite good, no? No, this is not messy at all. This is really good.
This is messy for you.
Yeah, but I really tell to you, if you use Macs, then one thing to do is to learn two objects which are send and receive. These objects you don't, if you use send and receive, you don't have to use patch cords, this connection. And this becomes super helpful if you do bigger batches, because otherwise the connections, you know, if you think about cables, if you have like 10,000 cables together, it doesn't like really work, you know, you don't find stuff. So this is super helpful, and definitely organize your batches. Organize it as much as you can, and that you can also after 10 years read and understand what you are doing.
You can write a send and receive without the cables.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's it for today. Yeah, if you need, I don't know if you are studying